We learn differently. We learn by seeing, we learn by hearing, and we learn by moving, and that's a lot of the philosophy behind milk. The milk program started from a woman named Dr. Deborah Knapp. She's professor and director of dance at New Mexico State University, and she developed this milk program, and milk stands for Methods in Learning Kinesthetically. Those little fidgety kids in the back that are always moving or can't focus and can't sit still and they're all over the place, they're checking out. They're not able to learn as well as those auditory learners. Basically, we take our lessons that we teach for the day in our regular curriculum and we put movements to everything. We teach the kids the alphabet in sign language so they all know their ABCs with their hands. And then with those ABCs in their body, they'll take the sign and they learn their spelling words this way. And so when I give them a spelling word, they start to practice with their hands. We also take stories and we bring them to life by moving to them. This milk program has given them the opportunity to be so confident that they just read and they remember everything. 90% of the class is getting there. There'll be times I'll click on a PBS myself and say, let me show you this video I saw that we watched, and I'll bring up the video and the kids will watch it, and then we get into our discussions that way.
Getting out of high school, I kind of knew that I had to pay my way through college. I couldn't rely on anybody else, and I didn't want to. I didn't know how I was going to do that.
The Alliance for Minority Participation is a statewide program, and we work together to provide educational opportunities in the STEM areas for the students of New Mexico, primarily aimed at the underrepresented minorities, to encourage them to consider a STEM career, to enroll in a STEM major, graduate as an engineer or a scientist, and go on to work as an engineer and a scientist.
The AMP program has been amazing in providing resources for undergraduates to do research. It allows you to get the experience that you need if you want to further your career in the research field.
Their personal development is, for me, one of the most rewarding things that I see in terms of the impact that the program has. New Mexico has, over the 22 years, almost 23 years of life of the program now, New Mexico has graduated 10,000 or more underrepresented minorities in STEM degrees, and so that's a major contribution to the national workforce.
I tell people I'm a teacher, they kind of cringe a little bit and then when I tell them I'm a high school teacher, they're no, I could never do that, or no, they're scary, and they're great people, they're great kids. And going in with that attitude, you see that a lot of the kids respond to that and they want to give you their best. I currently teach New Mexico history as part of the social studies and history department, and I'm also the Enlace teacher. Enlace stands for Engaging Latino Communities for Education, and it's part of a statewide collaborative. 2 years ago, I wanted to leave. I was done. I was tired, I was angry with the political climate, with everything around teaching. And I got asked to read names at graduation, and I saw my kids walk across the stage, and that's it. After that, I told my wife they're gonna have to take me out kicking and screaming. I go, I'm gonna do the best I can. And last year I was lucky enough and blessed enough to win the Teacher of the Year. And it was a testament to my children, my kiddos, my students, and the teachers I work with, the administration I worked for. You know, I came back and I focused on them. And I figured if I do right by them, I'm gonna be okay. And now it's all about them.
He's been a great leader for this program. He's a very forward-looking leader, and I think that's allowed for the Alliance to develop in some really interesting ways.
The New Mexico Alliance for Minority Participation is a program that is funded by the National Science Foundation and the New Mexico State Legislature. The program was designed and implemented to increase educational opportunities, providing educational opportunities for the citizens of New Mexico. Hispanics, Native Americans, and African Americans. Those are the primary audiences that we work with.
We've been around for 23 years, and that's a credit to his leadership, but also to the team of the of the Alliance across the state. You know, we've got so many people that have participated and worked with us to make these things happen. When we see students come in as freshmen, sophomores, transfer students, and we watch them develop over time, it's amazing. They develop these really incredible goals for themselves. They start to see kind of the social benefits of science and engineering and the ways that they are able to give back to communities and at a national level and work on these really interesting projects. Those are really rewarding experiences.
Hi, I'm Aditha Collins, and my position is literacy coach, instructional coach. I also work with K3+ in the summer, and I also work with pre-K teachers and classrooms. Literacy coaching and instructional coaching, we work with teachers instead of students most of the time. And in order for us to do that, we help to develop them with professional development, to guide them in other ideas to implement in their classroom. My favorite part about being an instructional coach is I get to actually model lessons within the classroom, as well as meet with individual teachers to help them excel in what they're doing, how to break down the data and differentiate their instruction within the classroom. The K3+ program was started about 5 years ago and through the state. And what it does is it helps to eliminate the academic gap that we see, especially in our elementary grades. So it provides them 25 extra days of instruction. The students that come for those 25 days have a great start, and they're that much farther ahead when we begin in August. That teacher's able to go ahead and start a little bit further ahead than if they hadn't attended in the summertime.
I was able to do the community gardens through my work as the Stan Fulton Endowed Chair. I was working with 4 different elementary schools here in Las Cruces. I worked with the principals to talk about the garden project and then went to the schools in which each of the 4 school students made presentations to me about what they wanted to see their school garden look like. It helped encourage science skills, technology skills through their presentation, math skills because they measured out the different dimensions of the gardens. They did some cost analysis of how much the flowers or plants would cost. And to have elementary students that excited about sort of applied research or action research is outstanding. I was a 7th and 8th grade teacher in the South Bronx in New York City, a few blocks away from Yankee Stadium. So worked with students from all different cultures, languages, and backgrounds, and I absolutely loved it. Growing up, I was a PBS kid. I was able to watch Sesame Street. To this day, it's still vital and important that there's free access to education and information for kids and their families. And I think PBS does that better than most. As sort of corny as it might sound, when people ask what is your purpose in this world or this life, mine is to help and to make the lives better for disenfranchised and underserved youth.
Join us for American Graduate Day on October 3rd.